Hello guys, this is Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM Reacts episode 412, and today we're going to be reacting to Purple Roads episode 7, and we're going to be reacting to this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Anyway, before I get to reacting to this, I saw this before, it was awesome, so here we go.
I'm Carrie Stinson, and my journey through life has been quite an adventure. For over 20 years, I've played Barney the Dinosaur on tour, and 7 seasons of the hugely popular TV show, Barney and Friends.
Wow.
Now my journey is to bring together friends and guests from all over the entertainment world for inspiring and at times amusing behind-the-scenes conversation.
Wow.
I'm Carrie Stinson, and this is Purple Roads.
Wow.
Welcome to another episode of Purple Roads. I'm Carrie Stinson, and I am so thrilled you're back here with us today, joining us. This has been such an amazing experience, and I am thrilled to have you here. I want to give a shout out to a fan that contacted me, Nick Birch.
Wow.
Nick Birch was a huge fan and friend of Carol Spinney. And also a fan of Barney. Went to the Barney Musical Castle in 2011, and I know it was tough for him and a lot of the fans of Carol when he passed away. And Nick is now watching our show, and I just want to tell you, Nick, I'm so thankful that you're watching it. So glad you're watching it, and I know you're a huge Barney fan, so you're going to be very excited about who we got on the show today.
Wow.
We want to give some love to our sponsor, Infusion HF70. We are so thrilled that they are part of it. It's a fantastic water, and you should definitely check it out.
Wow.
So I don't want to talk too much more. I want to bring on our guest. I am so thrilled that she is here. This is someone that I worked with, someone that is such a huge part of the Barney world, and has these amazing stories that I am so excited we're going to talk about today. So her name is Phyllis Cicero, but you probably know her as Stella, the storyteller. So we're so glad to have you here, Phyllis.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm so proud to be here. I'm excited. Thank you for having me here. And thank you, everyone out there. I am loving it. I'm ready to talk to you. Tell me what you want to know.
And as far as to let you know, her voice has changed. And I'm like, oh my god, this is a little bit different than that. Continue on.
Well, people have been asking to have you on the show. The fans love you, love the work you did on Barney, and
so did I. I had a blast.
They've been talking about this. So we want to talk about all our Barney years, but we also want to talk about what you're doing now, because you're doing some really exciting things.
I am really excited about moving 2020, and we're moving forward. I am. You tell me when you're okay. What I'm doing, I teach. I'm a voiceover instructor, and I developed a program, and we're at KD Conservatory College of Film and Dramatic Arts, and I'm having a big event. So those of you who like the voice or are interested in the voice, an open house that's happening Wednesday, January 15th at KD Studio here in Dallas, Texas.
And KD Studio is a big acting studio here in Dallas. It's been around for a long time.
Yes.
A lot of fans know Josh Martin. Josh was with us.
Absolutely.
And so Josh came from KD Studios.
Yes, he did.
And Chris Rager, who was on our show.
Wow, okay. That was you, okay. And where's Josh? Okay, never mind. Continue on.
Here at the event on Wednesday night, he will hob and knob. So if you come, you'll get to hob and knob with Josh and Chris. They have absolutely graciously consented to come as industry professionals. So they'll be hobbing and knobbing. This is a come and go, meet and greet, come and eat. I'm telling you, the sister who's going to be cooking, my caterer, oh my Lord. So if you just want to come and have a little bite and knob, that's fantastic. It's Wednesday. It's 6 to 9. Come and go. KD Studio. That simple.
I love it. I love it. So one of the things I talk about on this show is I am a very proud Texan. I was actually born in Washington, D.C., but I moved here when I was 10 years old.
Fast as you could.
As fast as I could get here. I fell in love. My father and my mother really showed me the state, and I really embraced it. I am so proud that Barney was started here and lived here.
Absolutely.
And I've got a text in here as well from Tyler, Texas.
Tyler, Texas, born and raised. Yes, I'm an East Texas girl and a proud Texan. 6 years in New York didn't breed it out of me. Yes, and that is part of the Barney legacy that stands bright, is that, wow, this was done here. The quality of the workmanship, the amazing talent that was also farmed here, and it was just stunning. And it did feel like, okay, we are opening up this third coast. We are here, and this show is fantastic and touching so many people. But the fact that it was born and bred here resonated.
Yes, yes. And I mean, we still get it all the time. It wasn't California, it wasn't New York.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. And
right here.
I really think it was important. I'm not sure the show would have been the same. What we did here and the people that we, for me, for example, I don't know that I would have made the show because I didn't have an agent. I didn't have all those things that you typically would do. But they watched me and they said, we want you and we want to let you grow and we want to see where you go. And I know they did that with a lot of the actors and a lot of the cast and crew.
And I think that atmosphere of nurturing and educating at the same time was part of really the culture of the show, that we were all learning, that we were all being nurtured, we were all being educated, we were all being guided by the best in the business.
Yes.
And not being, that California side-eye sometimes when they say, oh, you're from Texas?
Right.
Or the New York side-eye, oh, you're from Texas?
Right.
And you see it on their face that says, hick.
Yes. Yes.
Hick. But we were in an atmosphere where we were all learning. We were all Texans. We were all working under the great tutelage, and they were going, yeah, you're good, this is great, you are fantastic, and we are so happy and proud to have you, and you felt that every time you came into the studio.
Yes. One of the things that I learned very quickly, because I had never been in a costume before, when I auditioned, I wasn't a dancer. I tell people all the time, my mother was my choreographer. She was a dancer, professional dancer.
One.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I learned very quickly with Barney is the responsibility. Right? When I was in that costume, there was no Carrie. It was Barney. And how much love, how these kids, this was their friend.
Yes.
And so this was not just a job. This was something that was very important, what we were doing, and we really had to give it all. And I know you felt that way.
Oh, absolutely.
When did you learn what this was?
Well, funny enough, believe it or not, I knew about the show. I had no kids. I was a young actress then, and I was running and burning and auditioning and doing everything, and I recently moved back from New York, so I was back in Dallas literally just about 2 or 3 years before the opportunity came. But as I joke, I don't watch television. Television watches me.
Sure.
And I heard the song, I love you,
yes.
You love me, we're a happy family. And I was in a grocery store and I heard a kid singing it an hour over.
Right.
And this is long before I knew anything about the show. It was just on and I went, how fabulous is that? And it was sort of rolling around in the roller decks. So when the call came in to do the audition for it, I went, oh, I know that show.
Right.
Oh, how cute is that? And of course, she was a new character, and they were still figuring out exactly how they wanted her to come in. And I thought, wow, how exciting an opportunity to do this. So I guess coming in, I had a sense of how children were already accepting it and processing it. And when you hear this little voice one all over, going, I love you. You love me, just absent-mindedly repeating that phrase, I just thought, this is powerful.
Right.
Wow.
This is powerful. Whatever. And then there were lottie-dottie, and everybody with a headshot came out to audition.
Yes.
Wow.
So I went, ooh, okay. So I think coming in, Carrie, I had a sense that, yeah, this touches kids. They get it.
Yes.
And I love you. You can't really go wrong saying I love you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's another part that's so important is that, when I saw you today, you were like, I'm a hugger. Well, obviously I'm a hugger too. and that's what we are. There's a purity to it that I think, especially these days,
yes,
it's questioned.
Oh yeah.
It's questioned. When you say you love someone, you truly do, and that's what that character was about. I think that's why it responded so well, is that people realized he was your friend. He was everyone's friend.
He was everyone's friend, and
there was no judgment. There was nothing, and I've told stories about seeing some incredible things from kids that, kids in the hospital that haven't spoken in 2 years and this and that, because they saw their friend.
Wow.
And I think it's just absolutely amazing what was created and how adults maybe didn't get it, but the kids got it immediately.
Well, the show is based on engagement.
Yes.
And unfortunately, with our social media, the one thing that happens, I remember very clearly, the moment I looked around the room and there were 5 young people in the room and they were all on their devices. They were not speaking to each other. And I went, okay, gather them up, give them to me.
Right.
I said, because you're here, but you're not here. And I think, hopefully, I'm seeing the pendulum swing a little bit in the other direction. But that's why people don't believe you. Don't touch me, because you're right here.
Right.
But I can really converse with you, or I can relate to you here.
Right.
So this is a tool, which is what I would tell my son all the time. I said, honey, this is great. I love this device, this technology, but it's a tool. Yes. And let me tell you something. When you're here, you can always hit return. You can, when you get to the house. I said, but when you are here, as she gestures to the world, none of that can be repeated. You got to absorb that right here and right now.
Right.
Whatever's in that box, you can go home and pull that back up again.
Right.
Okay? It's not going anywhere.
Right.
But all of this that's happening here, you can only get that.
Right.
Right here, right now. So I think that show, that kind of engagement that said, it's okay, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family, with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Would you say you love me too? So the whole, it's a simple tone, but I love you, you love me, won't you say it?
And you saw, I did a lot of the appearances.
The appearances,
when I first started.
yes.
I did that for a long time. And seeing those kids flying like an airplane and Knickerbocker, they knew everything.
Yes.
Man.
And they were, as you were talking about, they were engaging with the friends and with the parents. And,
yes.
Even the parents that didn't understand it, at the end of the show when the beautiful I Love You was being played, and the kid hugged its father or mother and the kiss, now I get it.
It's delicious.
Now I get it. Yeah, it's amazing. So when you started the show, when did you start realizing the importance of what you were doing? Of Stella, that the kids knew who you were, that character that you...
Well, let me tell you about the audition process. That was pretty interesting. And as I said, everybody with every female from 12 to 112 auditioned, because the specs were simply that favorite aunt.
Excuse me.
And that's all they told you.
Well, there may have been other things, but that's the one that stood out to me. But basically, they weren't tying themselves into a type. As that crazy aunt. And say, okay, that would be me, because I had no kids and I was an aunt to my nephews at the time. And I thought, okay, yes, I'm that auntie, the auntie that my nephews from Jersey would come and spend weeks with, and we'd go everywhere. And I said, okay, I got that much. And so I was trying to figure out where this storyteller, where she was coming. There was a children's show called Shusha. I don't know if you remember that one. Okay, Shusha, Google it. You will laugh. Okay. And Shusha wore hot pants.
Okay.
And multicolored leggings and over-the-knee boots. She was super cute.
Yeah.
And she had a little derby. She always had a little cap on, little hat on. I'm a hat girl.
Okay.
And I thought, and she had a little Latino accent, and she was so cute, and she would open the show at the top of a tall stairway, and she would come down, and there would be confetti. Now, no aspersions on Shusha. I don't know if she saw well, or she could not read the prompter, but I found her hilarious, because she'd get down and she'd go, today we are going to talk to Johnny. Hi, Johnny. He is going to, and I thought, I love you. And I thought, just the right amount of cookie.
Sure.
And so I found a little red hat, I found some boots, and I said, okay, I'm going to do my Shusha. And I got to the audition, and when I say everybody, there were all kinds of characters there. I mean, there were leopard skin boots, and moms with cowboy hats, and there were everybody, all kinds of characters.
At this time, Barney was pretty big, right?
Yeah,
so everyone knew this was a big audition.
The character was created because some of the feedback that they got was the repetition, which was exactly the element that appealed to the kids, was losing the adults. Because, and so Stella was to come in periodically and break up, Well, break up hearing the same songs over and over again. Which is exactly what the kids needed, but the parents were like, oh, God, if I hear that song one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. So she would come in from a different country with stories to tell. So I was sort of that one. I was in for the grown-ups to keep them in, but to also bring something new for the kids. So I knew that was the character, that she was, and I said, well, that's my life. I'm the aunt. It's like, okay, it's summertime. You can come to Texas for 2 weeks, and we're going to do this. I was like, oh, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I knew that was coming, and I was really excited. And, well, lo and behold, three callbacks later, I was in Houston, and I got the call, and they said, okay. And part of it was that, I was tall enough to stand next to Barney, and I had a big head, so that helped.
Man.
Yeah, people don't realize how big Barney was.
Yeah, he was pretty big, and they needed...
Pretty tall, yeah.
They needed a girl that wasn't gonna, that...
That you would lose.
Yeah, that you would lose on camera. And I said, okay. I said, well, thank God, thank you, Daddy, from a big head. And it was a joy 6 years later. Just awesome. But
so when you started that role, how much of that is you? How much did you bring to it? How much did they give you? Was this a combination?
It was definitely a collaboration and a combination because I tend to have a pretty big personality, and if you hadn't noticed.
No, I haven't. If you're not watching it, you've got to watch this on YouTube. I know you can listen to this, but you got to watch this on YouTube, and you'll see what she's saying.
A big personality, and that's off-putting to some people, and I've learned, you do you and I'll do me, and that's fine. But one of the things that had to, when you're standing next to a character that is that huge and green and purple, and you've got colors, and they wanted a character that was that, but not overbearing.
Right.
To the point. So I think being an aunt, I understood you're dealing with other people's children. Brothers and sisters for sure, but they're other people's children, and there's respect and boundaries that have to be respected. So I was very happy to bring that to the plate, that yes, I understand. For a moment, these kids are in my care for a time, but I have to also take care of the parents. I have to take care of their values, what they are sending them with. It's not about, okay, away from mom and dad, and we're just going to do our thing.
Right.
So I thank Dorothy and Samuel Cicero for instilling that in me, that respect for other people's children, other people's property, okay? They've invested in their kids, and it's not my job to come in and change it, but to enhance it and encourage it and nurture it.
Had you ever been on a kids show? Had you worked with kids before at this point in your career?
I'd never been on a kids show.
Okay.
No, and at that point, actually, no, not in depth. I mean, there may have been some workshops or a commercial.
Ooh, she's never been on a kids show. That was something. Continue on.
Here, there, where we could, but I always liked kids.
Sure.
And like I said, being the auntie and being the actress auntie, it's like, oh, Auntie Phil. And I would go, okay, you've never been on a plane? Okay, can I take him on a plane? We're going to fly. And that way, I'm a middle child, so I'm perfect for that. I'm peacemaker, soother, okay, rule breaker a little bit sometimes. Don't y'all do this at home. So I just think that I believe that when you get into a place of purpose, everything else falls into place. Yes. And that was my place of purpose, and I found that I was uniquely qualified to do that job, and I thank God that the producer saw the same thing that I saw. But yeah, I think my upbringing in Tyler, Texas, small town girl, but I had been to New York, so I had both ends. I've lived in New York for 6 years, so I understood the business and the business end of it, but I also understood the empathetic ends of it, of how, this is how we deal with kids and how precious they are. And, and I like them. I think if you want anybody to tell you the truth, ask a child or ask an old person. Okay, those are two people who don't sugarcoat it. They come right at you. If you're telling a story with old people, they will go, that's boring, baby, and I don't like it. With children, they will look at you and go to sleep. Okay. So, I mean, you're going to get the unvarnished truth.
Right.
Unvarnished, and the kiddos have no filters, and I love it. I love it.
So what challenges did you find being on the show, filming the show?
I think in television, I am, by craft and by trade, I am a theater craftsman, so really making sure that things were memorized,
Sure.
and then being able to change it, not committing, and having that flexibility to say, oh, okay, well, we're going to change this. Okay,
Sure.
now the yellow pages are out. Okay,
Right,
now the
right.
green page. Okay, well, now we have pink pages.
Sure.
So I think that was my biggest challenge, not writing it in stone and being able to go with the flow.
Sure.
And that, I would say, after the first 3 or 4 episodes, I had the sense of, okay, this is what it is, and really knowing that everybody was working on it.
Right.
If there was a prop, I may not know what that prop is. I did one that was puppets. Well, I didn't know if they were going to be stick puppets. I didn't know if they were going to be hand puppets. I didn't know if they were going to be sock puppets.
Right.
So in my work, creating my story and crafting that, I have to make sure that art department does what they do,
Sure.
and they're doing, and trust
Sure.
that when you finally realize, okay, it's going to look good. It's going to be great. You're going to figure it out. It's no big deal. And know that they want the best product out there.
Right.
So that was a challenge to start with.
Were you surprised at how big of a production it was? From the art department to the dino department to the kids to the teaching.
I think having worked in New York, I was, I think had I just been in Texas, I would have been blown away. But having had a little work time, a little work experience in New York City, I had been on bigger sets, and so I had a sense of, but surprised in the fact that, and we're at home. Okay,
Right.
okay, all of this. Oh, we have all of this. Oh.
Right.
And we're right here at home. So a little surprised, yes, but not in the sense that, okay, we're capable, because that I knew. I'm a proud Texan.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, capable, but yeah.
Yeah, capable, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Because you started on the shows in Las Colinas, is that correct?
Yes.
So when they had the treehouse and the whole
Everything. Yeah.
that big set.
Yeah, I was there when we broke it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I mean, it was home.
Right.
It was home. You come in. It was home. We dressed there. We ate there. We lived there in the treehouse. The kids had their tutoring there. All of that. It was home base.
All right. So we were talking about a little bit about this before we started, but how about the dancing?
Lord Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I am not a dancer, and I know it was step touch, turn around, wiggle your hands, but okay, I'm not a dancer. Okay, I'm one of them black people. I don't dance. Okay, I do dance, but I don't dance well.
Really, yeah. Oh God, continue on.
And I would frequently have the kids when we were down between takes going, okay, Miss Phyllis, and they love teaching me the dances. I thought, okay, we are cool. We are fine, because Miss Penny was fantastic. The kids looked great, but no, beyond step, touch, tap, turn around, Stella was not going to be getting down and turning it up, okay? Yeah, maybe that's why y'all like me, because she said, she can't dance, can she?
That's so funny.
Oh, I love the dance. I loved Miss Penny. That choreography was
Talk
great.
about her for a second. She means the world. We talk about her a lot on this show.
Miss Penny was off the chain.
Yeah.
You know, one of the other things I loved the respect level that those kids did. There was Miss Penny, Miss Phyllis. It was not Phyllis.
Yes.
It's like, you don't have excuse me, you're not tall as my waist. How you going to call me Phyllis?
Right.
This is not going to happen, but that was never a problem. And she had the most wonderful discipline, and with those kids, it was just the most amazing balance of discipline and love and respect for the craft and the technique. She didn't take any of that. She didn't dumb it down.
Right.
But she wanted precision. She wanted it done.
Yes.
She was not a drill sergeant, but she was definitely a precision.
Yes.
And a precision choreographer.
Yes.
And so that's why it looked like, oh, okay, any kid can do this. But when you're doing it take after take after take, and you've got music and music cues, and she was a consummate professional and funny. Just funny. Her quips and quotes, and she would crack. I think of her often, and I think of her fondly, because Miss Penny didn't play.
No.
Miss Penny didn't play, and it showed. It showed in the quality of her work. It showed in her relationships with the kids. It was evident and appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, she meant a lot to me too, because once again, I was 23 years old when I started.
Wow.
And she molded and guided and was there. But
well, I wasn't much older than you.
And there was tough love at times and all of those things.
Oh yeah, but you needed it. That was that whole family, and we accepted it and appreciated it. It was that's why I said, you don't see any of the Barney kids robbing a liquor store.
Right.
Okay, and that's not by accident. That is really by the design of the people who were involved. And these kids were all child actors. These were all, and they had the same requirements as any kid working in LA or any kid working in New York. They had responsibilities and things to do, but you don't hear those horror stories about the Barney kids. And that was because of the environment they were nurtured.
Yes.
Yeah. So they've all become, I hope Cervantes, who played, okay, Lord, if I say some names wrong, don't tag me on it, okay? Thank you.
I have to do that all the time, too. Okay,
but Hope and her mom, Miss Benson, I've been in contact, but she's in Chicago right now, so Facebook friends, and I looked at her, and Maury came into KD to do an audition, and they came up to me and she said, Miss Phyllis, you don't remember us? And I went, well, baby, you're going to have to help me. I have eaten and slept since last I had a conversation with you. You're going to have to bring it on. Don't play the game with me. Tell me who you are. I'm Maria. And I went, no, you're not. You're not. Those girls were short. And they, they weren't built like y'all, okay?
I know.
I don't know who you two young ladies are, but I know who those two little girls were. And they just laughed, and I was like, oh, my God, they had just graduated from college.
Right.
And I just went, wow, Monet Morier. And I was like, and we just graduated from college. And I'm like, what college? Who's college? You babies are still in school. I don't know who you two people are. So that has been, actually wonderful. Looking at them and going, wow, how amazing they are. But those little surprises I always love when they just kind of pop up and go, you don't remember me? We're not going to play this game. No, I don't remember.
Right.
Tell me.
I know. I go through it too.
Yes.
With some of them, and it's amazing.
You don't remember me? No. That little boy that I knew didn't have a beard.
Right.
Who are you, bearded young man?
Oh, I've interviewed several of them, and it's just like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Are you kidding me? But I'm very proud of the same thing you say, where they've become, what they've become, what they're doing.
I just don't remember changing that much from 10 to 20. I thought I looked the same. No, I guess not.
No. It's funny.
It is funny, but it's lovely, and to hear where they're going, and like I said, Mrs. Royal robbed the liquor store last week, but I'm waiting for my probation officer to tell me what's going on. No. These kids are like, oh, I'm in the arts, or I've got into banking, or I've, that show has impacted them positively, and as a result, they impact people positively.
Yes.
So that's everything. That's 100. That's 100 right there.
Do you have a favorite moment from recording an episode, something you did, something you were part of?
There are so many moments. Some of them that stick out. I love Gigi, Mr. Cookie. And when her stomach would rumble, this was rolling, and she would have to leave because she had, and it was always after lunch, and she would go, I gotta get off set. Okay, let me pat you down and get off set because, I feel my stomach. And it was the loudest stomach rumble on the face of the earth, and you would just cry laughing, and she would live in fear for about an hour after lunch when we were taping because it's like, okay, it's gonna start rumbling. Right. Okay. And I thought, okay, Mr. Cookie is the Cookie. The kiddos, whatever. When I soon learned about the kids is they will tell everything.
Yeah.
So you need to be very careful what information you share with them because they have no problem telling everything. Mrs. Cicero, how old are you? And I said, I never tell my age, sweetie. Well, my grandmother is 42 years old, and she dyes her hair. And last night she made macaroni and cheese, but she didn't use the real cheese. She didn't tell my daddy. She had an extra pack. They tell everyone. So that's why I don't tell you my age. Miss Cicero is 21. That's how old I am. Say about 21, because they would tell everything, and I soon learned, oh no, because if you tell them, my little minor birds will do anything. What did you do last night, Mrs. I went home and I went to bed.
Right.
I watched television and I went to bed, because they will tell it all. So those my little golden nuggets, as I learned dealing with the kids, and my group, my colleagues and coworkers. I think one of the things that always stood, and I have because as I teach children now, and I'm very blessed. And at KD2, I had just did my first 7 to 11-year-old voiceover for kids.
Oh, I'll bet that is so much fun.
So delicious. But what I discovered when I'm working with them is that once they make a discovery, they magnify it, and they want to share it, and grateful it was a small class, so they became very close in the 8 weeks, and attaboying each other. Wow, you sounded good. Oh, and that was one of the things that came out on the Barney set, how supportive they were of each other.
Yes.
It's like, we're in this situation together, and we're going to hold on to each other, and we're going to support one another, and we're going to, and you can't do that on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Right.
These guys decide. Now, good communication tools, let's get together, meet in the bowling alley, tell your mom. But that's not relationship building. And watching those kids build relationships that have lasted a lifetime. The relationships that we've had on that show have lasted a lifetime. Have, well, at least 20, where we're still living.
And we're still going.
And we're still going.
Yeah, and I mean, that's incredible. We've had several of the Barney people on here, and it's like yesterday. We had Jeff Ferris here not too long ago.
Hey, Jeff.
And
Sorry I missed you, baby.
And we had Bob West. Was
Love
here.
Bob. Okay, I need to hug your neck. It's been a while.
It was like yesterday.
Wow.
And I hadn't seen Bob in person in 20 years.
Right. Right, but thank you through the magic of Facebook. I'm not, please don't get me wrong, I'm not downing social media.
Sure.
I want it to be used for what it is. It's a tool.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's not a replacement, it's a tool.
But we didn't grow up with all that.
No, we didn't.
So.
We are immigrants into technology land.
Yes.
These kids are natives.
That's right.
And they don't know anything but this. That's why, and I find it fascinating. As I'm learning technology and as it came in, I found myself in constant self-condemnation because I didn't understand that and I couldn't do this. And I came to an agreement, honey. I hand that phone, here, baby. Turn the camera on for me. I don't care what I hand them. They already know. And they hand it back to me. Miss Cicero just pointing to. I said, this is how you do that. Okay. I was packing out and I couldn't get my GPS to talk. Literally, back out of the parking lot. Come here, baby. Make my GPS talk. Didn't ask me what phone it is.
Right.
Didn't say, is it Android? Is it an iPhone? Okay, Mrs. Cicero, here. Is that volume good? Yes, baby. Thank you. And I went, this is how you do that, huh? You know, I got all kinds of natives around here. Why am I making myself crazy?
It's so funny because I've embraced the same thing. At first, you're like, you don't want to look...
You don't want to look dumb.
You don't want to look dumb, and then it's like, why?
They looking at you anyway, and they think you're dumb.
Right.
They looking at your age and go, you dumb already.
Right.
So, okay, I'll be dumb. Not a problem. But turn my GPS on for me. Okay, thank you, baby. It's not loud enough. Turn it up. Okay, do I need to plug it in? Okay, thank you.
Now, one thing that the kids would do when I was on the show is they'd love to point out when you missed a step. You went to the
See, you're the dancer. Okay,
Yep.
I got pointed a lot.
Yep, but not Miss Penn. I mean,
No,
Miss Penn
Penny did.
Right, it would be the kids that would say, you missed or we did a...
Well, you had to realize that when I realized, I said, that's all they had to do.
Right.
They didn't know what a gallon of milk cost.
Right.
They didn't know what a gallon of gas cost. They had nothing to do but that. And we were doing that show and having lives and being grown-ups and paying rent and paying taxes.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have anything else to do. Okay, yeah, tell me I missed that step. How much is a gallon of milk? See? I know stuff too, okay? How much is a gallon of gas? How much is a loaf of bread? Okay? So, yes, they would let you know. Yeah. But when I really realized, well, what else are they doing?
Right.
You know, we got schoolwork, that's your job. And somebody takes care of everything else.
Right.
So, dude, don't tell me I missed a step. Okay. What's a 501c3? And you balance your checkbook?
Oh,
you know?
my gosh.
No. So, okay, you stay in your lane, I'm going to stay in my lane.
Did you ever get to meet the fans?
Oh, yeah. They were toward when we were... I got to do a couple of live appearances, but because there was only one Stella, it was like I couldn't do both.
Sure.
And
or did they visit the set? Did you?
We only, and you know, the set was very, very close.
Sure.
I mean, friends and family did that, but I did a meet and greet in New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Which was just stunning, and that was the biggest. It was huge, and it was at a convention center. That's a convention center for your nerves, and really got a sense of just how big.
Right.
Big it was. When you're coming in and out of this set every day for years, and it's my family, and I'm driving home, and and then a couple of years after that, I did a one-woman show, Ace Up in My World, and even though it wasn't through Barney, I mean, there was still Stella the Storyteller, and so traveled a lot on the East Coast with that, and it was malls, and that was stunning when you really see what is going on with the kids and what the public is doing. So I mean, I did shows on the beach in Jersey. I did shows in malls and in front of carousels, those things like that. I don't know if I thought about it. I should have brought you some of the. I just moved recently and came across a lot of the playbills for that. And
well, send me it. If you got a picture of that, we can put it up on the site and let people see what you're doing. I love that.
Okay, I take very bad pictures. Okay, didn't I talk to you about technology?
It's all good.
But I'll send them to you, and because I just ran across them, as I said.
That's great.
And I was like, wow. So it's only when you get out there that you really realize how, and you were lucky really, I know probably looking back, you were like, oh, I got to do all the traveling. Yeah. But that's where you meet, that's where the rubber meets the road, when you really get to look at a parent's eyes and says, hey, I listened to your voice. And that's when I can go get a shower because my little one will sit and listen, and I want to thank you for that. I was at Disney World. And it was my first time to Disney World with a good friend, and we had, my son at that time was 2 or 3 years old, and my friend and her husband had brought, and I took at the time he was 12-year-old nephew. So we had a lot of kids. We were doing the Disney thing. We were doing and they timeshare Disney people. They big time. Right. I mean, the apartment, their condo down there is bigger than my apartment here. And so I was in the best hands at Disney, and we had been around. We'd done Epcot. We'd taken a picture when we first walked in the park, and now the day was done, and we were on our way out. And a lady approached me, and she said, "Excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but are you Stella the Storyteller on Barney?" And I went, "We're at Disney. Isn't that illegal? You're not supposed to be talking to PBS characters here." "Oh, yes, I am." She said, I heard you earlier. She said, "I've been stalking you all day." And I went, "Okay, now you didn't have to tell me that."
Oh, God help me. Yeah, I saw that video on, during the premiere. I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Continue on.
She said, "No, not really, but I heard your voice, and amazing. I knew it was you, and I just went, wow." And I was really, truly blown away. I said, here I am in Disney World, and here's somebody who says, "I heard your voice," and that's the one who told me, I can put her in the rocker, and I can go take a shower, and she's content, and she is lulled and engaged by your stories. And I said, thank you, and thank you for stalking me. Thank you for letting me know that. I needed to know that my job is being done and that it's being received and appreciated. So thank you. But I still was going, "Hey, were you Disney? Ain't there something illegal? They're going to ask for some licenses rights or something." So that's what you find out when you're out. When you're out and about and now with Facebook, if you send me messages and tell me what you're doing, I love it because
then you realize how blessed we were and are to have been part of this. And I am very fortunate that I did 10 years before I did the TV show. Wow. So I knew how important from the day one I got there because I had seen it. From hospitals to concerts to all of those, and meeting parents and all of those things. Wow. So you knew it was important. But then when you
gotta have that. You've got to see it in their face. And when I'm looking at a mom, and shortly thereafter my son was born, and I realized how important it was to get that shower. Okay, because my child was in the swing, and Barney loved him, and he used to pimp me out till about the 3rd grade, and then it was like Barney wasn't cool anymore. But up until that, he goes, "You gonna meet my mom? She's on Barney." And I'm like, "Dude, did you just pimp your mom out?" Okay, that's all right. And then about 3rd grade, it became Dragon Ball Z, and Mom, you need to do something cool like that. That's what I want to see you do now. And I went, okay, well, we'll work on it, son. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny how that goes. Oh, yeah. Because my sisters and all them, when they end up getting high school, and I'm doing they didn't want anyone to know. But then later, it's cool. It's cool early. It's cool later. Yeah. But in the middle, it's
They were like, no. And he said, Mom, people, because of course, they're memes now, but at the time they were always saying, and some kids saying, let's hang Barney from a tree.
All that stuff.
Okay, and I say, here's your song. I love Barney. Barney loves me. He pays mommy's salary, okay? So, dude, he said, oh, that's a good one, Mom. And I said, okay, yeah. It's not about what they think and they care. I said, it's a good show. You had a good time. We had a great time. He's actually in one of the books. You may have taken, yeah, he was.
I did almost all of them, if not all of them.
We did Stella at the Library.
Oh, I did do that.
Yeah.
I absolutely remember doing that.
That's my son. And that little one that's sitting down and one of the little ones. So I'm excited that he was in that one. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's him. Wow. So, and I don't know what was going on that day, but he was like, I said, okay, I got to work my magic. If all the children go act up, it better not be mine. But he ended up turned around. We had a great day.
That's awesome. Well, it's funny you say all that about how kids and parents didn't like him at times, and I really think that was because they just didn't understand it. And it's been such a cool thing. A part of this show is that I get messages of, I get it now.
Well, first of all, the show was designed for 2-month-olds to 6-year-olds. So if you didn't get it, why are you beating yourself up?
Sure.
You were beyond the target age.
But once again, that lesson of love that they just didn't understand how important that is, and how many people that we get calls that weren't loved when they were younger, and they used Barney as that outlet, which I think is beautiful.
I think that the simplicity of the message, we want to complicate things, and it was so absolutely ABC simple.
Yes.
That was difficult for people. Working as a mom when because I was the mom, that homeroom mom, all of that, whatever that mom.
Right.
The breakfast, casserole, bring the cookies, that mom. And I don't remember what the situation was, but I had one of my PTA members make a comment to me that stuck with me, and she said, Phyllis, you have to realize that there are a lot of parents out there who are still third graders. And when they come to talk to a teacher or an administrator, they don't approach as an equal, and as an adult, they bring that scared second grader, third grader with them. So that's why you see so much anger and aggression, is because now I'm a full-grown person, but the person emotionally that I'm bringing is still a third grader. And that allowed me to really open up another inches of compassion and empathy into the role of parenting, and how important Barney, Mr. Rogers, these programs, Sesame
Okay, these three are awesome in my childhood. Continue on.
Street. This programming that allows kids in the medium that they are immersed in to also deal with the world that they're also immersed in. So I think this kind of program is groundbreaking. It was groundbreaking, still is, because it allowed these kids to turn on the television or turn on their video, turn on their device, and tap into something that's going to let them tap into the bigger device, the world. Right.
I think it's so cool that Barney's come back. If you haven't noticed that, but you can see what's happening.
I'm seeing it and I'm going, wow.
And I think it's part of that message that's so important that we need now.
Well, the ones who got it are now the grown-ups who are making decisions.
Right.
So that's kind of lovely.
Right.
If the grown-ups that were grown up when they were kids were kind of confused and were trying to figure it out, now they're grown-ups, and now they're in positions to create art, to create programming, to create to recreate the message, to rebrand the message, to put the message back out there, because it's like, not only was it a good message, but look how it impacted me. And I love that.
I met a couple.
That's priceless.
I met a couple recently from Brazil who every night sing the I Love You song to their kids. And it's more about, they didn't really grow up with the show, but it's the message.
Reinforcing
the message. And now the kids will not go to sleep
without it.
Oh my.
Wow. And they'll pass that on.
And they turn the lights on. And exactly.
Yes. Well, I mean, I can't really think of a better message to end my day with.
Right.
Every day, and look forward to it, and know that that's what's going to lull me off into my sleep, into my rest time.
Right.
That I am loved, and I love you, and it's active.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
It is active. I love you, and won't you say you love me too? And
yes.
I just said it. So yeah, as I said, I do believe the pendulum is swinging back that out of those 5 teenagers in a room and everybody on a device.
Right.
At least now maybe they'll look up and go, hey, or at least, hey.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Were you always teaching, or when did you get into the teaching?
I never would have told you. No, Barney started all of that.
Okay.
Never, if you told me I was going to be teaching before Barney, I would have said, you are out of your mind. I don't think so.
So what got you into it?
Really, Barney started, and then, like I said, when you're in your place of purpose, things come to you. And I don't remember the specific thing, but I started working, doing a little, because that was Barney, and I created a one-woman show, and in the creation of that show, I worked with an organization called Big Thought.
Okay.
And so that's Artists and Outreach, and I created a couple of shows for that. And so now this has put me in direct contact with kids.
Oh, that's great.
Because you want to support, it's not just coming in and doing a show. You need to come in and you have to have some support. Through Big Thought, I was over the years, and I worked with them for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Over 25 years, actually. And through them, I became one of their fellows. So I had 2-year fellows with them, and they took us around the country and exposed us to best practices and made a master teaching artist out of me. And it was wide open after that. And once I started at KD, I started voiceover. I took it over from another teacher who was had business opportunities. And the program started to grow, so I started growing the program, and I said, okay, we do intro, we've done this class, let's provide an advanced class, and because the kids want animation, they want character voices, then I want to teach them how to create them and catalog them so they can go back and get them. So thank you, we created that one. And a teen class, and then, as I said recently, we just finished our first 8-week of the itty bitties, the 7 to 11-year-olds, and just so delicious.
Wow.
So it place of purpose things have come, but no, if you told me that, no. Because I like the kids, but I wasn't real fond of, I told you I'm a rule breaker. I wasn't real fond of, not necessarily all the parents, and trying to make parents understand your child is beautiful.
Right.
Your child is smart. Your child is amazing. But if he can't do all of that when the director says action, then he's not an actor.
Yeah.
He's not a performer. And that's okay. They can be bright and beautiful and amazing at the family reunion.
Right.
Okay, at the Christmas party,
Right.
at the Christmas at the house. They don't have to be on television.
Sure.
But know that I never make judgments. I think every kid is super cute, super funny. But if you can't do that when a director says action and you don't know how to stop when the director says cut,
right,
then they're not a performer. They're not a professional.
Right.
And know that when you get on set, they're expected to perform as professionals.
Yes.
You know, that's your baby. And you know,
right.
Okay, come on, Kiki. No, baby. If you don't do it, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Because I was in the arts, I was always tasked with doing the talent show at my son's elementary school.
Wow.
And there was one year we had a student, but because of PTA board, you could only do the same job 2 years in a row.
Okay.
So reluctantly, they would go, okay, you don't have to do it this year, but you're coming back next year, right?
Right.
And I learned very quickly that the magic words is, I am going to do everything in my power to accommodate you. Those are the magic words. Instead of going crazy and then continue doing what you're doing.
Right.
Okay, that's my secret, y'all. But I'm going to do everything within my power to accommodate you.
Man.
So I had a young lady who had auditioned. Make a long story short, it was horrible. And the auditions weren't about auditioning. It was really about previewing and putting everybody in. There was nobody that was going to be cut out. But this was self-indulgent. The parents were self-indulgent. I mean, literally sitting in the middle of the floor with a microphone. And then because she was on crutches, okay, if you recognize yourself, you recognize yourself.
Right.
And then when I'm coming out, she's not even on the crutches. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I talked to the mom and I said, okay, how's she doing? I said, what is going on? And she said, what? I said, that was painful. That was painful for me to watch. I don't know if it's not painful for her, but it was painful. Oh, she usually does better at home. And I said, we won't be doing it at your house. She'll be doing it right there.
Right.
I said, is she comfortable with that? And I said, because I'm not comfortable, and I'm not comfortable putting that in front of an audience.
Right.
And, okay, she's going to be fine. I wasn't convinced. I spoke with the principal, and she said, well, whatever your decision is, it's fine. I said, well, of course she can come. And I said, but I'm telling her, no, you cannot sit on the floor. No, you cannot do that. And if that's unacceptable, then this won't happen. So they're back in the green room. We're getting ready. And I just went over to her and I said, how are you feeling? Are you ready? I said, we've got a chair for you. So we'll take a chair for you and take your crutches. So when you sit down, just hand them your crutches. And you don't have to, haggle with the crutches and the microphone. Well, she smiled and I thought, okay, we're good. I'm going about other duties. And suddenly this big man comes up to me and said, how dare you talk to my daughter like that? And I said, excuse me, who are you? And who is your daughter?
Right.
I'm Papa so-and-so. And she said, you asked her, you told her she didn't have to go on and you didn't do this. And I said, okay, I see what's going on here now. So I looked at him, I said, you leave my backstage. He said, I'm a police officer. I said, well, you the only one who graduated? They make a whole bunch of police officers. Okay? You leave my backstage. I am running this show. My name is Phyllis Cicero, and I am running this show. And if your daughter is prepared to perform, she is absolutely welcome to. But you, sir, will not step to me and try to intimidate me over a children's talent show.
Yeah.
So you may leave now. And then I can call some of your brethren to help you leave. And I was so... The child got out there, she walked out, did not have the crutches, and sang the song, did not sit down, and did a beautiful job. And fast forward, 10 years later, ran into her and her mom at one of the neighborhood stores and said, wow, I cannot believe. She said, there was so much going on. There was a lot of things, illness in the family, grandma was going on, so everybody was trying to keep everything at an even keel. And this little one was pushing the boundaries and pushing the buttons to see how far she could go. And but I was like, oh, no, Daddy, you got to leave. I'm not scared of you.
Right.
Okay, well, you're the only one who graduated from the academy, so you're the last cop?
Right.
Okay, this is my backstage, dude, and you're going to have to go.
Right.
So those things happen when you realize that when you're dealing with emotional hot buttons and the difference of story or a song, it meant something for her to perform.
Right.
And she wanted to, but I'm going to do it on my terms, and you're going to tell me. And I went, okay, that might work with Mom and Daddy.
Right.
But I have a responsibility to everybody else in this show and to everybody who's watching it. And I'm not going to let you do it. And if I'm going to jail tonight, that's why I have friends who can do bail money. Just in case. So, because we've talked earlier about the importance and the strength and the depth of the emotions that fueled and fed and nurtured this show.
Yes.
They spread out, and you realized, okay, we got a job to do. We got a big job to do, and creatively, and also responsibly to our audience.
Wow. I think that's such a great point that you're making, because creativity with children, we all have it, but as we get older, we kind of lose it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Parents push you in this and that, and they want to
They
make
have
the
their
next
dreams for you.
celebrity.
Yes.
Exactly, all of that.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting them go and kind of guiding them a little bit. I think that's one of the things I loved about Miss Penny so much, because there was no parents around. There was none of that.
No,
right?
no.
Yeah. And she was able to see all their levels, right?
Yes.
There might be an advanced kid. There might be one that, and she was so great at that and using them. And
different skill levels.
Same with us, even the adults.
Oh, there were different skill levels with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that
she was gifted in that.
And so you realize, not only you're supposed to be doing it, but it's for those reasons. You're being able to once again get back and help these children. And
I knew that there was something going on. I said, there was no way you were sitting here. I mean, in my previous situation, that you're sitting here and hearing what I'm hearing.
Right.
I said it was painful, and it's a 4th grade, 5th grade talent show, and there were the ones that thought they could do it, and the piano players and the whole 9 yards. And I went, no, this is deliberate. This is not okay. Nerves. this is a deliberate, and I knew it. And then when I came out and I saw you're not even on the crutches, this is something else going on all together here. And little girl, I'm not buying into it. But when the father came, I was like, okay, well that's what you do, daddy-wise. But I got big brothers bigger than you. I ain't scared of you. And you're gonna leave my backstage. And then 10 years later, there was the thank you, and here's the explanation. Sure. So I wasn't holding my breath for it, but it was. I was very glad that there was closure in that situation, and I didn't have to be right. I'm a big believer. I don't have to be right. I just do what's right.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, just try to do what's right. I don't have to be right. You can be right.
Right. No, that's exactly it. So it was a thrill for me when I got to work with you. I knew all about Stella. I was traveling the road when that was happening.
I was shooting. I was at home holding down the fort.
Yes, and we did that video that Jeff Giddle. Remember Jeff Giddle directed? And they brought Stella back.
Yeah, I told you I had to get a bigger skirt. I was so upset. And I was like, wait a minute. Because, Lisa, a perfectionist.
Yes,
everything.
Lisa Albertson.
Yes. And I was like, wow, Lisa Albertson. That girl was meticulous.
Yes.
And I put that skirt on and I went, no, we're going to have to let it out. No, we're not. I'm going on a diet. But she was so meticulous, so fantastic in her research and her construction. I have never felt so well taken care of, wardrobe-wise and creative. And what are we going to do for this country? And how are we going to? Oh, amazing. But yeah, I remember that.
Was it fun to come back?
Oh, stunning. Stunning. And I don't remember, to be honest, whatever was going on in my life personally at that time. I just remember it being such a lovely respite to just jump out of whatever I was into and get into Barney again.
Right.
And the majority, everybody, the whole gang was there.
Yeah.
Wow. So from makeup to hair and makeup to wardrobe to the set to sound people, camera guys, and it was like taking a step back into time. And of course, the kids were delicious,
right?
And everybody was excited about being together again. And there's something to be said for that. There's a 2 or 3 year hiatus, and then all of a sudden it's 20 years you haven't done it.
I know.
But you pick up the phone or you click on the Facebook, and there's that face, and there's that person, and there's that smile, and whoosh, you're right back there. That feeling is there. So that's pretty stunning. And not every show is that way. I've done a lot of shows, television and on stage. As a matter of fact, we just had a very good friend of mine, Grace McDonald, hosted a 30-year reunion of the cast of Hair.
Wow.
We did a production of Hair 30 years ago here.
Wow, Hair, okay. If you don't know what Hair is, it's kind of remind me of Hair from 1967 musical, but, that's just me. Continue on.
And the Metroplex, and people came from 6 different states. And we had it right before Thanksgiving. It was right before Thanksgiving. But to have that group of people, and I was like, can you believe this was a show? How many shows have I done between now and then? How many have we all done?
Right.
And how we have all, now with Facebook, thank you Facebook, been able to keep in touch with one another. And she said, I think we should have a hair ball. We should have a reunion. And everybody was on board. And it was stunning. And so it's rare, those connections that happen. And when you find them, you got to nurture them, feed them, talk to people. Because for, I guess it was a 3-week run, maybe a 4-week run, and that was 30 years ago. It may have been a 2-day run, okay. But to have those people back and be in their presence and join up with where their future has brought them and brought all of us together was just stunning. And that's how Barney feels when I Facebook Bob or Julie or Jeff, the heirs, what's going on with everybody. If I don't call your name, please don't be mad at me.
Oh, Patty Wirtz.
Oh, Patty. I haven't seen Patty in forever. I haven't seen physically a lot of people, but I feel like I'm there because I can Facebook them and we comment on the same things. And we go, oh, what are you doing? Okay, safe from the LA fire. Okay, I'm safe for the Texas apocalyptic weekend of tornadoes, snow, rain, hail. All we missed was an earthquake. So, and that's nice. So that's still family. It's the family is still there.
So, when do you start so if someone wants to come take one of your acting classes, when does it start?
Funny you should ask, Gary. I have a wonderful event that is happening this Wednesday, January 15th. That might be paydays for some of y'all. At KD Conservatory College of Film and Dramatic Arts. We are having a voice-over open house 2020. We're going to celebrate, commemorate, and connect. It is a networking event. We are also going to commemorate the contributions of my son, who passed away a year ago.
Wow. Rest in peace to him. You know, that's just me. Continue on.
But he was also my audio tech. We're going to celebrate. This is about celebration. And there will be information about classes. There will be industry professional. Chris Rager will be there. Josh will be there. Marissa Lenti from Sound Cadence.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, she's going to be there as well. All these people have served as guest instructors for my class.
Wonderful.
We'll be playing video and audio of students, so there will be alumni. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let me tell you, my caterer is throwing down like, okay. It's fantastic. So it really is about ease. Come in, have a cocktail, pick up some information, talk to an industry professional. We offer classes, voice-over classes for adults, intro, advanced, teen, and brand new children, 7 to 11. Wow. So please do Wednesday, January 15th, KD Studio, 2600 Stemmons Freeway. It is on Facebook. Please, my name is Phyllis Cicero. If you send me a friend request and you're not creepy, I will do that.
Yeah, I'm not creepy at all. It's just, I'm an okay person, you know, that's just me. Though I'm still here, though I'm very shy at talking to you, you know, that's just me. Continue on.
But it's on my event page at Facebook, Phyllis Cicero. Okay, it is KD Studio, open house, 2020, celebrate, commemorate, connect.
I love it. Real quick. So what do the kids learn? So when you're teaching kids voiceover, what are they learning?
Okay.
What do they go through?
Everything's a little bit different. When we do the introduction class, focuses mainly on commercial copy. Okay. And that intro class is to really kind of help you decide if this is really what you want to do. My advanced class focuses on animation and animation voices and character voices, how to create one, how to catalog it. If you've decided that's what it is, how to do stuff that doesn't hurt. My teen voice class is a little bit half and half of the commercial and the anime, and my kiddos are just small, short copy, the kind of copy that kids are going to do, because they're speaking with my agent as I was designing the curriculum for the course. She said, really, we like 7 to 11-year-olds to do 2 to 3-year-old voices, because we're not putting a 2 to 3-year-old in the booth. And so getting them acclimated to that booth technique. Please don't go into the booth stinky. It's small. Don't nobody want to smell you, okay? Don't touch the microphone. I mean, don't touch the equipment. Right. Just technique and etiquette, and also copy, because generally if it's going to be a one-liner in a commercial, it's going to be, Mom! And how to do that. But we go into elocution, and so that we start with simple copy, and then I take them up to a little more difficult, simply because I want them to have the ability. Sure. I want them to be ready. I'd rather them have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Well, isn't it just great for kids if they're shy, just right?
The booth becomes their home.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not looking to become a professional, what it can do for kids, right?
I think hearing their voice. Sure. As we were speaking earlier, and we were talking about them being natives and us being immigrants coming in, for them to actually hear their voice that's not associated with a video is magical. And when they hear themselves and they realize that they are creating the image with their voice, it is one of the most delicious discovery moments that I've ever been privileged to witness. It pretty dad blasted stunning. And yes, whether you are going to get on stage, if you can stand and open your mouth and speak to mom, dad, a teacher, it does not have to be, or at your church, yes, and know the power of your own voice at 7 to 11, that's absolutely apocalyptic. And they get it. They go, here is my voice.
It has been such a pleasure.
The pleasure has been all mine.
Such a pleasure having you here. The memories, hearing everything. I just absolutely love this. You know, this is what you did when you walked on the set. You know, everyone knew you were there, and they could feel the love. And it has just been such a pleasure having you here in the studio.
Well, I'm happy to have a new year. I'm happy to be vertical. Okay, you know, as I said, I'm glad I'm being seen and not viewed. And it's nice, and you guys were so welcoming and so warm. And when I got the call, and I was so glad that Reese kind of got us together, because I just was. As I said, when you're in your place of purpose, it finds you. And thank you for this abundance. Thank you for this. Well, this was great.
You have brought so many Barney fans so much happiness to get to see you.
Thank you guys. So excited. And thank you for taking a little time to visit with me. Because I love you. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug. And a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? I know you do.
You're bringing tears to my eyes. Thank you so much, Phyllis.
Thank you,
and
Carrie.
Remember to keep your eyes, ears, and your heart open, and you'll find your purple road. I love you, and I will see you next week.
So that was Purple Roads, episode 7. Phyllis, Cicero, you will pronounce it. What do I think about this episode? It was hilarious and also a huge episode at the same time. So far, it was a great episode, but, you know, that's just me, of course. Anyways, that will episode that will just be at episode 412. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be episode 8. Michael, Pappy, Druid, Gloria, the career of that show. Never heard of him, but whatever. But until next time, this is Jerry saying goodbye. Peace out, baby. We got more LJPCBM episodes for you guys very soon. Till then, Jeff was saying out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. Why was I the one to see things as I do?
So I think that show, that kind of engagement that said, it's okay, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family, with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? So the whole, it's a simple tone, but I love you, you love me, won't you say it? And we had been around, we'd done Epcot, we'd taken a picture when we first walked in the park, and now the day was done, and we were on our way out, and a lady approached me, and she said, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but are you Stella the Storyteller on Barney? And I went, we're at Disney. How, isn't that illegal? You're not supposed to be talking to PBS characters here. Oh, yes, I am. She said, I heard you earlier. She said, I've been stalking you all day. And I went, okay, now you didn't have to tell me that. She said, no, not really, but I heard your voice, and amazing. I knew it was you, and I just went, wow. And I was really and truly blown away. I said, here I am in Disney World, and here's somebody who says, I heard your voice. And that's the one who told me, I can put her in the rocker and I can go take a shower, and she's content and she is lulled and engaged by your stories. And I said, thank you. And thank you for stalking me. Thank you for letting me know that. I needed to know that my job is being done and that it's being received and appreciated. So thank you.